Hi there folks, so in this video what we're going to do is actually have a look at something called a flip-flop, which is a very useful piece of code which will effectively allow one thing to happen when one key is pressed, and the second time the key is pressed another thing to happen. We're also going to make it so when we actually walk over our weapons, you see at the moment I've just picked up the rifle which does 20 damage, and now I've picked up the pistol which should only do 10 damage. Now if I try and flip between them, what should happen is it should actually allow me to change up the actual amount of damage that we do. So what we're going to do is first of all add a little bit of code in to make it so our second object appears here when we press this button. So what we're going to do is type in flip-flop just here. So when we do Q for the first time, it will do this object, and then the second time we want it to do the other object. In this time we're going to do a simple bit of mathematics by getting the last index and minusing 1 from it, and then we're going to get the object reference and call that reference to it. So think of it this way: what will happen is it will set the last index to whatever this number is, and then this one will be the minus of this number. So what should happen is when I walk over Deathbringer, there you go, Deathbringer will be the first object within the instance, and if I get the rifle, that's then the second object. So there you go, every time I press between the two it should change. But have you noticed the damage isn't changing with it? So what we're going to do is first of all go to our player inventory, and we're going to add a new variable, and this time we're going to call it inventory weapon damage, like so, and we're going to set that to a float and an array of floats, just like that. Then what we're going to do is we are actually going to go to our weapon pickup, not to our weapon child pickup, because that will edit this as soon as this information comes across, and we're actually going to go to our lovely break inventory and create another add, just like so. This add is going to basically go straight to the current weapon, the weapon damage of the actual object, not the current weapon damage. They're very two different things. Right. Now what we're going to do, so this should set it so when we get this object it will then set this weapon damage to this object in this array, which is fantastic. And then what we're going to do is simply add a weapon damage system here to set the current weapon damage to get reference to the last index for the first object, and then get reference to the last object minus 1 for this one. Just going to copy this and paste that with a Control-C and a Control-V, just like so. So now what should happen is when I go and pick up our lovely rifle, it should do 20 damage. When I get our lovely pistol, it should do 10 damage. Now if I switch between the two, it should go back to doing 20 damage. If I go back to the pistol, it should do 10 damage. And that, folks, is how we use a flip-flop, and also how we pick up objects so we can actually have it so they change doing different information depending on what we need them to do.